Alright, listen, everyone's bullish on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency right now, and don't get me wrong, I'm bullish myself. I mean, I called the Bitcoin bottom at 15.6k last year before it even happened and was begging people to get into Bitcoin, Solana, and other cryptocurrencies that did very, very well. But as I said many times, I do expect a dump before the Bitcoin halving. And listen, it's gonna be a pretty severe dump. Now, everybody has been saying there's going to be a dump in Bitcoin, a 20 or 30% dump in Bitcoin since the beginning of this bull market. On the contrary, I was saying that we're going to see this dump possibly when we get to 40 to 50k. As a matter of fact, I called a 40 to 50k Bitcoin by the end of this year, by the end of 2023, back at the end of 2022 and the beginning of 2023. The question, of course, is when is this Bitcoin dump going to happen? What's it going to do to cryptocurrency and altcoins and the markets? And what's the best strategy to follow to protect yourself and maximize your profits? And of course, has my prediction changed at all? Now, something to keep in mind right now, is that if you are watching this video, you're either watching it on YouTube or in the VIP Factor membership area. I mean, if you are a VIP Factor member, you're watching this video you're watching this video earlier than everybody else. But I want to release this video to everybody in time because I feel it's very important. So I will be releasing this on YouTube very soon so everybody can watch this video. It's just that if you are a VIP Factor member, you get various perks, such as watching this video earlier than everybody else. You also get to see posts, you get to see updated portfolio videos, you get to see some exclusive content, and so on. Now, if that's something that interests you, check out the link down below. Check it out and see if it's for you. But generally speaking, I put most of my videos, if not all my videos, out for free, so don't feel obligated to do so. It's just something extra to help support this channel and also get some extra perks for yourself. Alright, now let's get serious because this is important. So if you need coffee or a notepad or anything like that, pause this video right now, go get that stuff, and let's get started. So there are three things that Bitcoin can do right now. The first is for Bitcoin to dump, the second for it to continue to climb higher, and the third to continue going sideways in our current range. Now, of course, this is pretty obvious, but we need to see the probabilities of each one, if there are any catalysts to support each one, and how altcoins will react depending on which scenario partakes. And to do this, we need to address some myths and misconceptions so we can get the bigger picture here. So the narrative right now is the Bitcoin ETF. Everyone's waiting for a Bitcoin ETF. And although a lot of people are making different calls about how Bitcoin is going to react and what it's going to do because of this ETF, I think they are missing some key factors here. So number one, you have the bearish crowd, you have the bears. And they are comparing the Bitcoin ETF to Bitcoin futures in the past, which what happened was there was a dump. Basically, that was the signal of the top of the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency bull market. The problem with that thesis is that a futures ETF is not a spot ETF, which is what we're potentially getting right now. See, a spot ETF is different because you have to buy the underlying asset in order to make a spot ETF. This causes buy pressure for that asset, in this case, buy pressure for Bitcoin. That said, a lot of people are saying this is a sell the news event because basically Bitcoin won't have any news after that. There's no news to look forward to, and therefore it's gonna dump. But this is also false because a Bitcoin ETF will birth a lot of hedge funds and money managers selling Bitcoin to their clients, as well as pensions and 401ks getting involved here. So although Bitcoin may make a small dump, it might go down a little bit, I don't think it's going to get that 20-30% dump that we're expecting once this gets approved. Now, understand this. The Bitcoin price did not dump as soon as futures got approved in the last bull market. Bitcoin dumped once Bitcoin futures started trading. And the Bitcoin spot ETF may start trading 1 or even 2 months after the approval of a Bitcoin ETF. So if you subscribe to this narrative, if you subscribe to the sell the news event, Bitcoin will probably start dumping a couple of months after the approval once it starts trading. Now, could this be a shorter time? Sure. But a lot of people are going to get wrecked wanting to sell the news, then Bitcoin continue going up, then they're going to FOMO in, then it's going to dump. Does that make sense? Also, let's not forget that this time we're in the beginning of a bull market. We're in the beginning of a crypto bull market. Last time we were at the end of a crypto bull market. This is very different and can shift everything, making this narrative not apply. So things can work out very different than most people expect. Now let's talk about the bullish case here. Let's talk about the bullish case for Bitcoin and the Bitcoin ETF. Well, the bullish case is very simple. Bitcoin will start pumping like crazy on the ETF news or on the release, and this will be second-winded by the Bitcoin halving, amplifying and compounding its effect. Now, this is all great and dandy, but this may account for Bitcoin sucking out liquidity from altcoins. So while Bitcoin is pumping, altcoins are stable or just not catching up to Bitcoin. While maybe Ethereum as an exception pumps as people are anticipating an Ethereum ETF next. And they see what this is doing to Bitcoin, it's pumping like crazy, so people start getting into Ethereum from altcoins and into Bitcoin from altcoins. So this may result in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and possibly Solana pumping like crazy while altcoins are just taking a back seat. Now the third scenario, and stay with me here because I'm going to tell you what the best strategy is in just 1 second for all three scenarios, but the third scenario is Bitcoin trades sideways or goes up a little bit until the Bitcoin ETF, and then it just dumps, taking altcoins with it. Now, this would cause a tremendous, significant, and amazing dump in both Bitcoin and altcoins. And then we'll start seeing Bitcoin and altcoins go up a few months after the Bitcoin halving. And finally, we have the fourth scenario here where Bitcoin just trades sideways till a few months after the Bitcoin halving, nothing significant happens, and that should cause altcoins to shine. You should make significant profits on altcoins in this case. So what do I think is going to happen, and what do I think is the best strategy here? Well, look, we don't really know which scenario is going to play out here. I mean, we can anticipate, but we don't know which one of the four scenarios is going to play out. But here are my thoughts on what the best strategy is to cover every single scenario and probabilities as best as possible. So until the Bitcoin ETF gets approved or disapproved, we want to start taking profits from altcoins into Bitcoin and maybe Ethereum. This is because Bitcoin typically dumps less than other altcoins. So basically you can always buy altcoins with Bitcoin if there's a dump, but it will also keep you exposed in cryptocurrency by holding Bitcoin in anticipation for the Bitcoin ETF. Especially if the Bitcoin ETF gets approved and Bitcoin starts sucking out liquidity from altcoins. This way you can protect yourself with Bitcoin, keep being exposed in cryptocurrency, but also buy dumps or potential dumps with Bitcoin. So it pretty much sets you up for all scenarios. Now, in case you're wondering when this will happen or when this will play out, well, it's likely to play out at the end of December or beginning of January. So maybe the first 10 days of January 2024. But of course, we have to see the charts. It all depends on what's happening at the time, but basically this is sort of a guideline here. Now, keep in mind that this all sounds nice and dandy, but it's going to be very hard for you to take profits from altcoins into Bitcoin. And the reason is altcoins may be pumping hard. They may be pumping very hard, looking like they will never stop. And greed, FOMO, and other emotions might take over. But you have to understand, you have to take profits. Don't let the market take back your profits, especially if you've made a lot of profits so far. Now, the second thing I mentioned was taking profits also into Ethereum. The reason I'm saying to take profits into Ethereum too is that if we have an out season, Ethereum will more than likely pump, especially if there's a Bitcoin ETF approval, as Ethereum is the next anticipated ETF approval. So that way you'll have exposure in Bitcoin and Ethereum and possibly Solana if you want to at this point. I'm not too sure about that one. That's a risk play at this point, but that will give you the best odds of success. Now, of course, this is riskier in my opinion, but it is a valid play, and that's what I'm going with myself. But here's something very important. This is extremely important, so make sure you pay attention here. You may want to take profits into USDT or some other stable coin as well during this time. Now, I personally don't like getting out of crypto during a bull market, especially the beginning of a bull market, but taking profits in USDT as well may give you some more options. First of all, you can buy the dips both in Bitcoin and altcoins, not just use Bitcoin to buy altcoin dips. And what I personally do is keep some of that USDT on the side to buy those potential dips, or if it keeps on going up, buy lagging cryptocurrencies and crypto altcoins. Remember, there will always be opportunities in crypto in bull markets, new releases, new IDOs, you name it. Or if the markets continue going up, take some of that USDT and live a little. Get rid of debt, go out, have some fun, buy some ice cream. You deserve it. So what's the play here? Let's gather our thoughts for a second because we want to get this right. Around the end of December or the beginning of January, the first week of January, start taking profits. And you want to start taking profits from altcoins into Bitcoin and Ethereum, possibly Solana, let's just say Bitcoin and Ethereum. And of course, some USDT, depending on which strategy you prefer following here. This will set you up in play for the Bitcoin ETF narrative. If it's approved, we may see a small dip before it continues going up, and then we may see a massive dip once it starts trading. We don't know this for certain. It may continue going up. It doesn't matter because we're in play here. And if we do get a dip, if Bitcoin does dip, it's okay because we can still use Bitcoin to buy those altcoins, if that makes sense. And believe me, altcoins will be dirt cheap when that happens. Altcoins are gonna get blasted. And that's when you will see which altcoins will react to this and set yourself up for an altcoin portfolio for the second phase of this bull market, of this crypto bull market. And that's why I kept on making videos that we're going to reevaluate our portfolio after we see that dump. For those of you that watch my videos, you know we're anticipating this to see the best kind of altcoin portfolio we should have to keep going forward, to move forward. While some altcoins are going to hold their price while others dump but bounce back faster, we'll see which ones are stronger and whether narrative or which narrative we shall follow when that time comes. Now, if Bitcoin does not dump, that's okay because you're still holding Bitcoin and you're still holding Ethereum. So even if everything goes up, you're exposed, you're good to go. And you have potentially some USDT on the side as well to pick your lagging coins or get into new coins and new opportunities. Then we can reevaluate. Just know that it will dump at some point, probably before the Bitcoin halving. This is inevitable. It always does. People need to get wrecked. Nothing goes up in a straight line, especially in crypto, and the markets have a way to get people wrecked that get too cocky or think they are geniuses when they are investing and trading crypto. And believe me, I know it sounds harsh, but this is reality, and I already see some people in my life that don't know what they're doing, and they think they're geniuses, and they're getting too cocky. They're gonna be in for a rude awakening. Believe me, trust me, happens every time. I mean, look what happened to the XRP army and how cocky they were and what XRP price did for the last couple of years. Finally, let's see what the ETF news actually is and how everything's gonna react to the ETF news. Will it get approved? Will it not get approved? How is everything gonna react to this? How is Bitcoin gonna react to this? And then we'll just make our play from there, but we'll be set up accordingly to be able to react and take full advantage of this. Just one more warning here that you need to be aware of before I end this video. There are some indicators that this bull market is actually going to end at the end of 2024, beginning 2025. I know you don't want to hear that, but it's true. And this is especially true if the ETF, if the Bitcoin ETF gets approved, as Bitcoin will probably be more correlated to the stock markets. And the stock markets look like they're going to top out by the end of 2024, beginning 2025. I mean, there are certain indicators that point to this, macro is pointing to this, and technical analysis and historical graphs are pointing to this. And it's gonna catch a lot of people off guard. It really is, and it has to do that. Not everyone and their mother is gonna get rich. A lot of people are gonna get wrecked. And most people that are gonna get wrecked, they would have made huge profits, not taken profit, not realized those profits, and again ride the wave down. They're gonna buy the dip into oblivion, just like last time, the time before, and the time before that. Now, there is a chance that Bitcoin itself actually decouples and becomes a hedge to this if it's a broader economical crisis. And I may actually be wrong, and we may actually have a longer bull market than I anticipate, and it goes to 25, 26. But I really hope not, because if that happens, we're probably going to see a major crisis after that like we've never witnessed before. Now, again, it's too soon to tell. I'm going to be making a video about this and about my thesis later on, so make sure you subscribe down below and hit the bell notification button so you don't miss that video. And if you want to watch another video, this video right here is extremely important. Make sure you don't miss this video. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.